The modern workplace, while often a collaborative and productive environment, can occasionally become a breeding ground for interpersonal challenges. Among these, the phenomenon of needling colleagues stands out as particularly insidious. These individuals, whether intentionally or inadvertently, employ subtle jabs, passive aggressive remarks, or persistent minor provocations that can chip away at one's morale, productivity, and professional well being. Understanding the nature of this behavior and developing effective strategies to tackle it is crucial for maintaining a healthy work atmosphere and preserving one's sanity. Needling behavior often manifests in various forms. It could be the colleague who constantly makes light of your efforts, dismisses your ideas in meetings, or delivers backhanded compliments that leave you feeling undermined. Some might specialize in spreading minor gossip, subtly questioning your competence, or creating a low level, constant hum of negativity around your work. The key characteristic is its subtle, often undeniable, often deniable nature. It's rarely an overt attack, making it difficult to confront directly without appearing overly sensitive or aggressive. This ambiguity is precisely what makes it so frustrating and emotionally draining. The first step in tackling needling colleagues is to recognize the behavior for what it is and understand its potential impact. Allowing such actions to fester can lead to increased stress, decrease job satisfaction, and even burnout. It can also create an environment where the needler feels empowered to continue their behavior. Therefore, a proactive approach, while measured, is essential. One effective strategy is to address the behavior directly, but calmly and professionally. This doesn't mean launching an accusation, but rather using I statements to express how their actions affect you. For example, instead of saying, "You always undermine my ideas," try, "When you dismiss my suggestions, I feel that my contributions aren't valued." This focuses on the impact of their behavior rather than their intent, making it less confrontational and more difficult for them to deny or deflect. It's important to do this in private, away from an audience, to avoid escalating the situation into a public spectacle. Another approach involves setting clear boundaries. If a colleague is constantly interrupting you, a simple, "Please let me finish my thought, then I'd be happy to hear your input," can be effective. If they're constantly asking intrusive questions, a polite but firm, "That's personal," or "I'd rather keep that information private," can draw a line. Consistency is key here. Once a boundary is set, it must be maintained. Sometimes humor can be a surprisingly effective tool, especially for minor provocations. A well timed, light-hearted yet pointed response can disarm the needler and signal that their attempts are not having the desired effect. However, this requires careful judgment to ensure the humor isn't perceived as aggressive or dismissive. For persistent or more damaging behavior, documenting instances can be a wise move. This is not for immediate confrontation, but rather to establish a pattern. Should escalation to a manager or HR become necessary, detailed records, including dates, times, specific remarks, and witnesses, if any, provide concrete evidence rather than vague complaints. Finally, managing your own reactions is paramount. Needlers often thrive on eliciting a strong emotional response. By maintaining composure, responding with equanimity, and refusing to be drawn into their drama, you diminish their power. Focus on your work, your achievements, and your professional goals. Cultivate a strong network of supportive colleagues who can offer prospective as well as perspective as well as encouragement. If the behavior persists and negatively impacts your work or well-being in spite of your best efforts, seek guidance from a trusted manager or HR representative. This may become necessary as the next step. In conclusion, needling colleagues pose a unique challenge in the workplace due to the subtle and often ambiguous nature of their provocations. By understanding their tactics, adopting strategies like direct but professional communication, setting firm boundaries, and managing personal reactions, individuals can effectively mitigate the impact of such behavior. Ultimately, fostering a respectful and productive work environment requires not only addressing the needlers but also empowering ourselves to navigate these interpersonal complexities with grace and resilience. Thank you very much for your time.